All right. So the other day I was hired by a couple people to get something from a museum. So I went in and I get in there and I realize this thing is pressure sensitive. Luckily, I had a bag of sand with me. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
So I throw it on, get this idle. I'm good. Boulder starts coming down, chasing me. I'm running for my life. Luckily, I didn't have my Vans on for once. I mean, I actually had some real sneakers. So I made it out there, right into some Nazis. The Nazis grabbed the idol from me, and you know what he said? It's time for the enthusiast.
Yes! Oh my gosh!
What is up, everybody? This is one of your hosts of The Enthusiast, Justin Nazario, here with my warrior amongst warriors, ninja, pal, good friend.
Will Zabo.
Oh,
I really like that.
oh yeah, no, I feel like you're a fighter. I just did an Indiana Jones reference.
I know.
That was from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, when you said the whole Vans thing, I was going to say, you said that you wore real sneakers. I was going to say, but Vans look like sneakers.
Yeah. No one's running properly in Vans. It's just not happening.
This is true. I have Vans, and every time I have to run in them, I'm just like, wow, this feels weird.
It is very uncomfortable. It is.
So what's up? What have you been up to?
I was on vacation all this week. Oh, it was so glorious.
I was going to say, it must have been magical.
Oh, it was. I mean, I did a little bit of work. I got cut the grass, not that you noticed. Sure.
I'm sorry.
Did you not know, like, the lawn was terrible? I literally had a jungle out there. That's
Well, I didn't come last week.
Good point.
We were at my house last week.
Right. And I cleaned out my garage.
I did see that.
Yes.
Well, that was glorious.
Yes. That's going to be my workout room, which means I'll never get used.
A workout.
Yes. And I played all 5 Halos. I finished them all in 1 week, Halo 1 through 5.
Yeah, and you actually really like 5.
I think it's my favorite Halo. I think it is amazing.
Which I thought was interesting because before you even started playing 5, I talked to you about it, and I was kind of like, oh man, you're probably going to be disappointed with 5 because I wasn't really big on 5. And I think you have a different opinion for a different reason that I was not expecting.
I loved 5 because I loved Locke. I thought he was an amazing character. I'd go as this far. I was mad when they switched to Master Chief because I could care less.
See, it's funny.
I wanted to go right back to Locke.
I was the opposite. I was all about Chief. Every time I was at Chief, I was okay with the game, and then every time I had to go back to Locke, I was like, oh god.
I felt like this was. I can't believe I can't complain about it because everything I wish they ever had in Halo, they added. They had added an aim function, which I feel like Halo's needed since 3. Like, yeah, 1 and 2 original Xbox games, 100% no aim. But after it came on the 360, we still didn't have an aim function. Ridiculous. So adding that in, genius.
Okay.
You were awesome. And then a run button, which makes all of the difference. Like, the best Halo experience I ever had. I can run now.
I agree with that.
Every scene in 2 and 1 and 3 when they're like, hurry, get here, and all you could do was a medium pace, it would drive me up a wall. But I can run now. Can you imagine playing Halo 3, the ending where you have to get towards the middle where all the flood and all you could do is walk up that thing? It'd take you 10 seconds. Run up that thing. So yeah, and I really like Locke. I thought he was a great character.
Okay.
I can identify with him more than I could Master Chief.
Yeah, I remember you were telling me about that. You seem to like characters that are more straight and narrow.
Yes.
That kind of... And I don't want to say that are the good guy, because Locke kind of knew what he was doing wasn't the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Because he knew what Chief was doing was the right thing. But Locke's a man that, like, once he's on a mission...
That's his mission, man. He didn't want to hear anything else. And like I said, this is one of my favorite things at the end when Chief was like, don't you understand what I'm doing? He's like, yeah, but my mission is to bring you in, so that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, and I just thought it was interesting that you liked him so much, because most people I knew didn't like him. And then you said to me, which I thought was like ludicrous, you were like, my favorite character in Breaking Bad was Hank. And I was like, I liked Hank too. But why did you like Hank? You're like, because no matter what, he was going to bring in Walter White.
That was my favorite part, man. He was about his job. Like, me and my wife were discussing before the show ended, and she's like, oh, I think he's going to let him go. And I was like, I would stop watching the show. Like, if he found out that it was Walter White, I was like, oh, no. Like, the Hank I know or knew would bring him in no matter what.
I actually agree with that in the aspects of the show. But I think that's so crazy that, like, that's your favorite character. My favorite character in that show was Walter. because of his drastic change that you just watch him go throughout the show, you're just like, at one point he's Walter White, the science professor, and he's trying to be like this gangster, and then you see him completely turn into...
Flip over, yeah.
Yeah, and he's no longer Walter White. There is no Walter White in there.
Yeah, I agree.
He's just Heisenberg.
Yeah, but that's what I liked about Hank. He's a man of his principles.
And that's one thing I liked about Hank, too, because I think Hank realized, once he realized Walter White was Heisenberg, I think he was then like, you know what? This guy is the one that's been causing me a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Then it all came and said the reason we got into a car accident was because of this and that, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm glad he didn't just let him go. But this isn't, we're not going to talk about Breaking Bad. Let's get back on Halo real quick.
To me, this studio continues to make, because obviously they have to make it 6, because 5, anybody hasn't seen, I'm not going to ruin the ending, but it leaves on this huge cliffhanger. But hopefully 6 will pick up. And I really liked it. And I also like when games are brave like that. That franchise made you fall in love with Cortana, and spoiler alert, she ends up kind of becoming the villain at the end.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's brave. You know what I mean? Like,
that was the end of 4, wasn't it?
No, it's 4 is when she comes rampant and
right.
sacrifices herself, and then this one she's all AI crazy, like,
You're right.
Hal from 2001: Space Odyssey. I can't do that, Master Chief. Sorry. But no, I thought the story was good. The cutscenes were great. The graphics, the pacing, everything. I got a little tired of wave after wave of enemy, but that was only because the game was pretty decently long.
That is something, I don't know if you agree with me with this. I feel like first-person shooter campaign games, towards the end, run out of ideas of ways to keep the player interested in playing. So what they do is they just throw enemy after enemy at you.
And it's just like, it annoys me because even most games will make jokes about it. Like, oh, again, another group of guys? It's like, yeah, if you're making the joke, that means I'm tired of playing it by this point.
I would honestly love for a first-person shooter game to kind of do what The Last of Us did with its ending, where it wasn't really a shoot fest. You know, I mean, you were walking holding Ellie. Yeah. Spoiler alert for those of you that haven't played The Last of Us. I'm really sorry that I already said that. But you're like carrying Ellie out, and it's such a quiet moment. You know what I mean? It really gives you a chance for you to catch it all in. Whereas I feel like first-person shooter games, you don't really get a chance to, kind of think about everything that's going on.
I agree. And it's like what made Halo 5 non-repetitive in the beginning is, one, switching back forth between the characters, but like you always felt like you're doing a different mission, like the one where you had to save that colony so the mayor would get on your side, you know what I mean? That felt different. Then you had to hunt down the Arbiter and protect Tim and get him out of his palace. Like, that felt different. By the end, when you get to the Forerunner planet, it's the same environment. You're on that same bridge. It feels like forever just walking down. And even when it switches to Master Chief, you're on the other side of the bridge walking down. So it felt like the same exact thing. So I'd say probably for the last hour and a half, I felt really drained. But by that point, I wanted to finish the game.
I can understand.
I enjoyed it. And it made me want to go back and watch the Halo, was it Nightfall movie that they made?
Yeah.
About Locke before he was a Spartan, and made me really want to go back. And I never realized this. Buck is the same guy from
ODST.
Yes.
Yep.
Didn't even realize that until I was playing the game.
Yeah.
So I think it's pretty awesome that they both came Spartans.
Yeah. Anything else?
Oh, I watched Wonder Woman yesterday.
Okay. Without spoiling it.
I'm not gonna spoil it. Well, let me tell you what the mistake I made. It was me, my wife, my 3 children. Anybody paying attention? I have a baby. So he slept through most of it and then woke up halfway. He wasn't crying or anything, but he decided to give some spoilers away in baby talk, so he just started screaming. So that was a little awkward. And then my daughter decided she's not going to watch this movie. Not at all. So me and my son loved it to death. Daughter, not so much. That was an experience of the whole film. With that being said, she still didn't ruin it because that movie was incredible.
Wow.
I really enjoyed it.
Would you say it's your favorite DC movie?
I was thinking about that today, and it's so difficult just because how much I loved Ben Affleck's Batman.
Oh.
It's always going to put Batman v Superman in it. And then I don't care if you hated Batman v Superman, loved it, you thought it was mediocre. When they show the Trinity, when they reveal them, is one of the most badass scenes in film. And because of that scene, it will always be special to me. So I'm gonna say story-wise and pacing, yeah, it's probably my favorite DC film.
Okay.
When it comes to origin stories, it was definitely way better than Man of Steel.
Well, let's be honest, Man of Steel wasn't.
I didn't hate Man of Steel.
I didn't hate it either, but I can see people's complaints.
It's the pacing was great for it. The chemistry was great in this movie. All the actors came out. Gal
Gadot?
Yeah, she is incredible. Come to find out, she was an Israel soldier turned actress with like 2 kids, and like she, had that perfect. Like she's amazing. She carried that movie, and that's fantastic. This is her biggest part I think she's ever done besides Fast and Furious.
Yeah, I actually, this is definitely her biggest role she's ever had.
Yeah, and I thought I was kind of worried is she going to be able to carry a film, and she did it amazingly. You really, every scene she had with Steve Trevor, you were either laughing or you were pulling at the heartstrings because their chemistry was incredible.
Now you're a box office guy. I don't really look at the box office, but you tell me all the time how things have done in the box office. Have you checked on this one? Do we know if it's doing well?
Highest grossing female director movie yet, and last time I checked, it was the highest grossing female lead movie.
Oh wow!
Yes. So those are 2 good things. As of Saturday, it hadn't made its money back, but was projected to make its money back by the end of the weekend because it did well. I think it was 89 million. It did its first night, which was pretty good.
Yeah, that is really good. Now it's not Marvel numbers yet.
No,
but I think that's actually a really good start to getting there.
Especially with a female lead superhero.
Yeah. Whereas I think you and me were already kind of on board with this DC universe. I'm not a huge fan of the Suicide Squad. I really like Batman v Superman, but I'm really excited to see Wonder Woman, and from what you said, it sounds.
I thought it was incredible.
And for once, critics are on board.
Yes, be honest. I've seen 2 reviews that didn't like it. One review said it wasn't feminist enough, so that review right out the door. I don't want to hear crap. And then the other review said it felt too much or felt too different for a superhero film. It's wow, sorry, it changes up.
How about that's what I want those.
Be honest though, if I say it did feel almost Marvel-esque sometimes in the flow and characters and comedy, it did, and I think that's why it did better review-wise. But it still felt like it stood on its own 2 feet, especially with a female lead.
Yeah.
And when I tell you it's a female lead, this is, Steve Trevor's in it, and Chris Pine is a decent actor and everything like that, but this is her movie, you know what I mean? It follows her whole story, her interactions with everybody. I think she's in probably every scene of that movie.
Wow. Well, that's awesome.
And the action was, I literally, do you ever walk out of a superhero movie and man, I wish I could be a superhero? I walked out wanting to be Wonder Woman. The things she did in that movie were so badass. You just gotta, you know what? Watch it and you'll understand.
You know what? You know what just came to my mind when you said that? Justice League War.
Oh. Man, that Wonder Woman suit makes me feel powerful. Yeah, no, that's me and my wife were discussing it. It was so well cut that I couldn't tell when it turned from her to stunt woman to CGI to back to her because there were some moves where there's no way that was an actual human being, but the director and how they edited everything, that flow was amazing. And no, this was a female director. Good for you. I'm not saying females can't direct, but I'm just saying, that is a man's profession. It usually is, and you came in and rocked it because I've watched many fight scenes, and you talk, and I hate shaky cam.
I do too. That's one of the reasons why I really like John Wick.
I hate close-up fights, and for a woman director to come here and edit a fight scene better than I've seen men do in 10 years, you should be ashamed of yourselves. The trailer gives nothing away about how awesome the fights are in the movie.
Do you think this could be the first year that maybe superhero movies are nominated for an Oscar? Do you think she deserves to be nominated for
the
this?
director?
Yeah, the director.
Absolutely. When Suicide Squad won for Best Makeup, I was very proud because they did do an amazing job on makeup. Even though the reviews tore the movie apart, give them credit. They deserve the makeup. So I'm hoping that this will step movies into the right direction.
Because superhero movies still aren't, or let me just say comic book movies in general, they're still not really taken seriously within the media. So let's just let's hope that that happens soon. I'd like to see a superhero. I think the only time a superhero movie besides the makeup and stuff like that has won was Heath Ledger when he won for Joker. I think that's
DC has won 3 times. It was Heath Ledger's Joker, and that was what was it?
Dark Knight. Well, or are you talking about the year?
No, the actual award. Best assistant, or it's not assistant.
Supporting.
Supporting actor, thank you. Dark Knight Rises won for the soundtrack, which was huge, but that soundtrack was amazing. Everybody says, even if you didn't like Dark Knight Rises, that was an amazing soundtrack.
I agree with that.
And then Suicide Squad. So there's 3 superhero movies that have won Oscars, and they were all DC though.
Awesome.
It is really crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I do agree, like, Marvel can always throw in our face, like, look how much money we've had, but DC can always be like, yeah, I can't hear you over Oscars. These little guys, you see these? Yeah. That's the Academy that loved us. You know, there it is.
Or at least something of us. So, honestly, let's just dive right into the news.
The news, all right.
All right.
Fantastic,
Yeah. Since we were on this DC talk, I figured.
on DC's jump.
Yeah,
Tell
I was going to talk about what I did, but I was like, you know what? What I did doesn't really flow well into the news, so I'd rather just go in right now because we're talking about DC Comics. And we recently found out that Aquaman is actually going to take place after the Justice League.
Yes.
I thought that was a little weird.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I don't know. And I hate to go right back to Wonder Woman, but I'm going to say this. Wonder Woman, after watching Wonder Woman, made me want to go back and watch Batman v Superman to know where she is, how she got to here. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering if Aquaman will have that same feel for Justice League. Like, I'll watch Justice League, go watch Aquaman, and then want to go back and watch Justice League again.
Okay.
I think it's weird to say that, like, that means he's not going to have full access to his powers in the movie.
Well, that's what I thought was weird, because we already know that in Aquaman, we're seeing, in his solo movie, we're seeing an Aquaman that doesn't have full control over his powers yet. And I guess he doesn't really fully understand the extent of his powers. So that must mean that in Justice League, he doesn't really quite understand yet either.
The issue is Aquaman is way overpowered, just like Superman in the comics.
He is.
So
He's probably one of the few people that, without any power, like without any kryptonite or anything like that, could probably go toe to toe with Superman.
So I feel like that's your best way of toning him down. Then is having an experience with Aquaman. My question is, does that mean this Aquaman in the movie? Because the only time you see him in, which I can't talk today. Atlantean armor is at the end towards the fighting, so it makes me wonder if this is when he discovers his Atlantean background. Or does he know about it? What's going on story-wise?
Now, see, here's what I think it is, and I could be wrong. Every scene we've seen so far in Justice League, Aquaman has had that bottle of vodka and he's by the ocean. I think he actually knows about his Atlantean background. I think he doesn't want it. Maybe if they're going to go by the comics, he was raised by his father who was human. I'm curious if he, after his father passed away, he knows about his Atlantean background. Maybe in his head, because his mother never came back, in his head, they didn't want him. So maybe that's why he doesn't, and maybe that he doesn't want them, type of thing.
We know Ocean Master is going to be in the movie. He's already been casted. We know the villain's going to be Black Mantis.
Yes.
So my question is, how are they going to play through it? Is it going to be him? Is that his own movie going to be him trying to get the throne? You know what I mean?
I don't think he's going to be the king of Atlantis yet.
That's what I'm saying. I doubt that's going to be in the Justice League. And I feel like he gets to Trident probably from Mira, and that's how they introduce her into the Justice League.
I agree, because we already seen pictures of her.
We've seen pictures, man.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen pictures.
I still look at pictures.
It looks good wet. That's what I'm going to say. With that being said, I don't want to ruin it for you, but I'm going to. DC's new opening? Wow.
For their movies?
Yes. Did you see it?
No, I haven't.
Google it if you can. So awesome. It's the silhouettes of all the superheroes. And that's what makes me wonder, because they show Green Lantern in it. And people online are like, oh, well, that obviously means Green Lantern's going to be the 7th member of the Justice League in the Justice League movie. But the Aquaman they show in the opening is blonde-haired Aquaman, which looks nothing like Jason Momoa's. And then at the end of the opening, it strolls out and you see the entire DC universe. Hawkman, Hawkwoman, Green Arrow. It's all their silhouettes, but you can make out, if you're a DC fan, you can make a lot of them.
You know who it is.
So I feel like this is not them personally saying all these people are going to appear in the universe, but just know we know about our universe kind of thing.
Yeah.
The opening.
I think it's one of those things where DC can get on the right track where it sounds like after Wonder Woman they're getting there, and I hope Justice League does really well. I'm hoping Aquaman does well. We should be getting a trailer soon for Justice League, right? Like an actual...
2 trailers so far. We got a teaser and a trailer.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like we should be getting, like, a meaty one with, like, maybe combat or maybe a look at a villain. Maybe not the big bad, but a villain. Because I highly doubt we're going to actually show us what Darkseid is until maybe after the credits type thing. But we should be getting a trailer of that soon. But that wasn't my point. What was I saying?
Big universe. Cool new opening.
Oh, if they get on the right track, which it seems like they are, though, we might actually see, like, a Hawkgirl movie. You know,
I would like to see an expanded Justice League, you know what I mean? Like Justice League Unlimited, where it's like we have cells everywhere, you know what I mean? We have a Young Justice Department, we have everything. We're such a big kind of thing. So that would be neat, but like I said, it was just a neat opening. It reminded me of the original Justice League show opening. Like the white background.
Where they're walking in.
Yeah, that's exactly what the new opening looks like. And it was like, you could tell the studio was like, what should we make our new logo? Marvel does this, what we should do. And they're like, you know, everybody loved that Justice League show from the early 2000s. Let's just do that for our opening. And it worked, man. So I seen it, I had that little popcorn, I turned to my wife and was like, that looks amazing. But I'm still really excited for Aquaman. I think Jason Momoa is going to be amazing. My wife, who you know is not that into comics, said after they played the Justice League trailer again for Wonder Woman, said she thinks Aquaman is probably going to be her favorite in that. And it does. He does have that appearance in the trailer. He gives the most comedy. It's just his presence looks awesome. And I think what they're going to do is tease him in Justice League. So no matter what they do for Aquaman, we're going to be chomping at the bits, you know?
Yeah.
So, and I feel like maybe at the end, because people forget, Aquaman can control the ocean, he can talk to fish, he's got super strength, super speed, control lightning and weather. So I think we're going to get the super speed in the movie, super strength, and at the end of the movie, he'll realize he can communicate with fish, and he'll do lightning powers. And then be like, they'll end it in like, wow, how powerful are you? And then we'll explore that more and come the Aquaman movie.
Okay. Now, do you think the Aquaman movie needs to tap into his origin? Do you, like, that was something I put in the notes. I'm just curious, do you think Aquaman is a big enough character that they can go without an origin story?
I mean, his origin story is pretty simple, though. His father was a fisherman sailor, and in Atlantean seen him, they fell in love, had a baby, and then Atlantean took off, left him with a baby. And then when he got old enough, you know what I mean, where Atlantis needed a king, he was contacted by Mira, like, hey, we need a king.
But do you think that's something that... Do you think they're just going to do a quick
flashback
type thing?
I feel like there's so many origin stories out there, and they've done well, a flashback or a little explanation like that. You know what did it really well? I feel like what we talked about earlier, Man of Steel, where they showed the whole origin of the Kryptonians, all that, on that little metal painting thing. Something like that would be fine with that. You know what I mean? Like Mira telling a story of where he was conceived.
Or do you think what we're going to end up getting too? Because, well, we already technically got Cyborg's origin story in Batman v Superman. We've seen how he was constructed.
He was a torso.
Yeah, we saw that. Do you think in Justice League they're going to give, and I kind of hope they don't do this, you know how in the beginning of Suicide Squad they kind of gave a background to each character, what they were doing before they got captured by Batman?
Yeah.
Do you think they're going to do that, but we're going to get like a quick background origin of each character before the actual movie starts?
I feel like they're going to pick and choose. I feel like, of course, you're going to have to do Flash.
Yeah.
Because we've seen that he's got his powers. Thanks to Suicide Squad, we've seen he's been Flash for a while. So I feel like they're going to give us a little bit of his backstory. You've seen the Henry Allen's in Justice League. So they're going to have to do that. I feel like Aquaman's unnecessary to do. I feel like the thing you need to give in the Justice League movie is, thanks to Wonder Woman, we got the Enzomian story. Justice League set us the Atlanteans. Let us know how long the Atlanteans have been here, stuff like that. I think that would be enough for Justice League. To know this is why he's like that, because he's Atlantean. I still think Jason Momoa looks like that dude, man. He looks awesome.
He does. Did you ever see the picture of him walking with his bodyguards, and it says like, these bodyguards look like the minions before you fight the big boss?
So my favorite is, you see the video where he gets drunk and he throws the axe and gets the perfect target. He's like, that's a Thursday. Like, nothing.
Yeah.
I really think he is that badass. But nothing was funny in that interview where they're like, "Were you worried about playing Aquaman? Somebody'd make fun of you?" And he's like, "Who's gonna make fun of me?" And they're like, "Good point." Sorry, sir, we made that joke. We won't talk anymore. Like,
You know, how about you just interview yourself?
yeah, like, if we had Jason, you know how much I insult everybody comes in here. If Jason Momoa came to do our podcast, I had nothing but pleasant things to say about him.
Yeah.
I loved you in Game of Thrones.
Even when you died?
Even when you died, you're the best.
If Jason Momoa ever came on our podcast, I don't know if I'd be able to talk.
Really?
I feel like if any famous person ever came on our podcast for the first
Well, obviously Ben Affleck listens to us.
Oh god, Ben Affleck came on our podcast.
We are the ones that talked him into doing Batman again. So internet, you're welcome. You're welcome. That was us. Okay? So, you know what I mean? And what's his face that is directing the Batman? He obviously listens because he signed aboard.
Yeah.
So you are all welcome.
Matt Reeves.
You know what I mean? Matt Reeves.
From Planet of the Apes.
He loves us. He loves us. And I asked him to re-release the Planet of the Apes 2-pack, and that happened. So, regular. But either way, I'm going to call it as simple as this. They've done such a good job in the trailers with Aquaman. Are you not just excited about an Aquaman movie already?
I am. I'm a big Aquaman fan anyway. Like I've told you before, he's in my top 5 favorite superheroes. So I'm pretty stoked for him. But I'm not so worried about me and DC fans. I'm worried about the general population that had this.
Well, I think that's why we got Justice League first, because this is going to be their way of, all right, you know what, we're done.
We have
with
to make them cool.
Let's done with the fish jokes.
Yeah, we need to get rid of those.
To be honest, if I was DC, I would just hire Jason Momoa to punch everybody in the back of the head that makes Aquaman jokes. Let that end real quick. You know what I mean?
So let's get into some game news because there wasn't really much movie news. Was there anything else?
Movie news wise, no, not that nothing I think of. My son keeps trying to convince me to go see Captain Underpants, and I have no interest.
I'm sorry.
No interest in that.
I'm sure I'm a couple of years from that, but that's gonna.
Ooh, I don't know. No, nothing about that. I did want to ask one question.
Wait until your son says for Halloween he wants to be Captain Underpants.
Yeah, a whole different experience. I did have one question I want to discuss it with you, and I've looked it up. I'm surprised we haven't got a trailer to Jumanji yet. You think that's going to be good or bad? What's going on? It's slated for this year still.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I actually, honestly, I knew Jumanji was happening. I did not know it was happening.
The reason I just wanted to talk about this real quick is, one, I was excited about this movie once I heard it was technically a sequel.
Okay.
It's not going to touch on Robin Williams and that story, but that story did take place in this universe. This is just a modern version, so this is a continuation, kind of, without touching on them. But I'm just rather curious on why we haven't heard anything about it. Once in a while you'll see a tidbit, a screenshot gets dropped, something like that. I'm wondering if, and this is why I wanted to bring it up, all the rumors are that this whole movie is going to take place in the board game. And I'm afraid that the studio is worried about that, and that's why they haven't given a lot of information.
That's interesting. You might, yeah.
So
I probably would rather them honestly take place in the board game more than to open the board game and what happened last time happen again.
Yeah. What I'm thinking is maybe one or two characters are from the outside world, and the movie will start maybe a big thing of them getting sucked in, and the whole movie takes place in the board game. Mm-hmm. But the question is, I'm going to bring up a Zack Snyder film.
But I don't know. I liked the first Jumanji. I don't know if it needs a sequel, personally. And I kind of feel like it's one of those sequels that are happening to just make money, so I don't really know if it's going to be very good. And maybe the studio knows that. Maybe they've seen it and they're kind of like, this isn't amazing. What we need to do is kind of capitalize on. We'll release one or two trailers right before it's coming out. Around, you said it was coming out in December. We'll probably get our first at end of August, and then another one in late October, and then it's out.
It makes me wonder, but at the same time, they did do this for Goosebumps, another Jack Black thing, and I know it's because the studio doesn't feel like Jack Black is a moneymaker anymore. A couple of his films fell off. But they did the same thing, so I didn't see Goosebumps because of that, because they did an awful job advertising it, even though I love them books. You see my collection. They're Powerful Life. When I did see the movie, though, I loved it. So I feel like sometimes I can hurt a studio, like, not advertising your movie early.
Yeah, I mean...
Get people to get it hyped for you.
I agree. If anything, I think what they need to do is hopefully just hope that by putting out these... hopefully just hope. Jesus.
You know what I'm saying? Why pray?
God, that was stupid. Just, hope that you get kids and families to see this trailer and go, this is a good movie for the whole family. It doesn't have to just be something for adults and stuff like that. Because I'm a little worried that maybe they're worried that the audience that even cares about this is too old now. So
I am too old for it. I love that first movie, though.
First movie was great.
But with that being said, when you were a kid watching it, and he gives that scene where the little kid calls him a coward, Robin Williams, and he's like, I've seen things that you only had nightmares about. Blah, blah. He gives that, like, you know what I mean? And he looks like he's been through it. As a kid, I always wanted to see what was in that board game. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
And so I feel like if that movie does do that, that's how you should advertise it. You know what I mean? Don't advertise it off of Robin Williams' name. God rest your soul. You're an incredible actor. We didn't deserve you. But do that. Make that curiosity of what we always thought was in that game. You know what I mean? Yeah, we knew there was dinosaurs and a hunter, but maybe there was some mad scientists in there, or dinosaurs, or who knows what. Like the giant spiders at the end of the movie. Like, what was that world like? Is it terrifying? Is it jungle based? Is it broken off in sections? You know what I mean? Is it like Terra Nova from Power Rangers? I'm going there. What is it like? Each section had, like, there was a winter part and a jungle. Didn't get that reference. I see. Wait, take it back. Rewind it. That was Lost Galaxies reference. I lost you over there. Bad idea, pal. How's it going?
All right. Yeah, hopefully, it comes out and it does well. You know what I actually am hoping for? A re-release of that board game.
Well, that would be really cool.
that board game.
I wanted one so bad.
Me
My
too.
mom kept saying it was expensive. My mom said no.
Well, because it was actual wood. It was pretty much a replica of the board game they used in the show, and I really wanted it as a kid, and I never got it. And that's all I want out of this movie.
I made mine out of cardboard, a replica board, and I had it fold open and everything.
That's awesome.
Because I used to love that movie. And then the show, you remember the show that came out with it?
No, I didn't.
It was a cartoon show. It was really good too. I actually really liked the cartoon show.
Now, I really hope they don't change the board game.
Oh yeah, they could change the whole idea and stuff. I hope not too.
Yeah.
Would make it like if they try to make it relevant and somebody likes like a download thing or something.
Oh, it's like on a tablet.
That would be terrible.
They get sucked into the tablet.
Like a switch. It's terrible. But that's a good thing to talk about because our next subject is about a big open universe, a big wide vast land with monsters and stuff in it.
That was delayed.
You okay, man?
No.
You're upset that it was delayed.
Yeah.
That's a good game.
Shadow of War.
Which is a sequel to Shadow of Mordor, for those who don't know.
Yes, it was supposed to come out in August. It is being delayed until October. Not a huge delay. Mm-hmm. I'm thankful for that. What I'm upset about is summer is usually that time where there isn't much to play. So this was really what I was looking forward to kind of bring me into that huge lineup of big games coming out.
Getting ready, getting that bib on.
But
you know what I mean?
Now what sucks is this comes out during that big lineup of games, and it's like, crap, man.
Do you think this could hurt its sales now that it's coming out?
Absolutely.
I agree with you. As much as I love the first one, I feel like there's a bunch of games I'm going to get before it.
See, I already have it pre-ordered, so I'm 100% it's mine. I'm getting it no matter what. But the problem is now, once again, it's fighting now for my time with all these other games that are going to be coming out. So it really sucks to be like, all right, well, I have this game coming out, and then we have the new Assassin's Creed, which is probably going to come out this holiday. I'd be surprised if it didn't.
I'm really excited about it.
If it doesn't come out, honestly, I don't know what's coming out this holiday then, because they really haven't.
A lot of stuff's gotten pushed back, but I am excited for this game. But honestly, the couple months thing, it makes me wonder. I'm going to share a random tidbit with you. Do you remember a game called Tomb Raider? Wasn't that popular?
Which one?
Just kidding with you. Tomb Raider's really popular. First Tomb Raider game that came out
for PlayStation?
For PlayStation, Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
Came out PlayStation and Sega Saturn. That game got pushed back 2 months because they couldn't get her ponytail to work. You got pushed back 2 months because of that. So I'm wondering if it's something as simple as that.
I'm more curious if it has to do with. So the game's going to be for PC, Xbox One, PS4. Now we know that for PS4, the Pro version, if you play it on PS4 Pro, it's going to have better resolution, stuff like that. And they also said that they are going to do stuff with Scorpio. A couple episodes ago, we did talk about how Microsoft recently said that now it will be up to the developers as to what developers do with the Scorpio power. I'm curious if because, maybe they were like, oh, we decide what happens? Let's go back and up-res this game even further. Because we can.
Could be.
I mean, because we know the PC version is going to be the best looking. Because the PC versions of any games are always the best. But I'm curious if that might be why. Maybe the Scorpio is going to be like, hey.
Would be amazing if they were like, all right, we pushed it back, but it's because it's coming out on the Switch too. That would be insane. Can you imagine that?
I can imagine the low hair.
quality.
Yeah, the low hair quality.
Everybody on PS4 and the Xbox version's got like 40 guys on screen. The Switch has got 6. I mean, I feel like if they work for it, if they cut a lot of corners, they could probably squeeze it on.
You'd probably have to get rid of some of the blood particle effects.
Like I realized, I think the best example was Borderlands from the PS3 version, or you could even say the PS4 version to the Vita version. It was the same game, identical. The only thing they got rid of was shadows,
Blood.
The like eyebrows moving in certain cutscenes, everything like that. But besides that, it was the same game, same storyline, same models, all that. So it surprises you what you can take out that will squeeze the game down. But what else also surprises you is when you take those little things out that you don't think you notice right away.
Yeah.
Because I remember playing Borderlands on the Vita. I'm like, it's pretty, but it's definitely not the PS3 version.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You'd be surprised somebody lifting their eyebrows makes the whole different experience.
Because it gives you the expressions of...
And it's the stuff you don't notice, you know what I mean? Like, I realized that the other day. I was playing Horizon Zero Dawn. First time I played, I'm like, yeah, the game's gorgeous. After a week, though, it's like, oh, well, this is just a game. But if I went down and the graphics dropped, that's when I would notice, like, something was wrong. But
So how do you feel about this delay? Do you well, we already said that, like, now you're probably going to wait on getting
I'm
it.
going to wait on getting it, unfortunately, because of the delay. It'd definitely be one I pick up. My issue is I feel like this will hurt its sales. And
100%.
it's like...
Now I'm worried about if this ends on a cliffhanger, am I not going to get a third because you guys decided, oh...
My issue is, one of the things that games that do well around holidays aren't games like this, because no kid's going out of their way and going, Mommy, give me the new Lord of the Rings game. You know what I mean? Call of Duty's do well, Assassin's Creed's do well, except for the last one.
Yeah.
But like, I don't see this doing well around holidays because of that. Somebody like me and you that loves it, yeah. My friend from work that loved the first one, he's gonna pick it up, I'm sure. But once again, am I gonna pick it up first day now? No, not if something else is around the corner. If this comes out around Assassin's Creed,
Well, what sucks is this is literally around the same time as South Park.
South Park now, Assassin's Creed potentially. What else? What's the big Mario? Which I feel like.
Mario, I think, is going to be December.
You think it's gonna be December? I honestly think November.
And here's why I think December. Nintendo has been, I don't know if you've noticed, Nintendo has always released the game in December. Nintendo is that only company that I know. Every other company, November is when it ends for holiday. No more games. They don't push a game out for December. They're like, November's done, we're done until January or February. That's when it starts back up again.
I feel like I'm in a board meeting right now.
Nintendo, however, is like, no one else is in December. We're in December.
I can see that.
And I think Mario, while Mario is huge, I think Mario is one of those games that, one, if you put it up, if a kid this holiday has to choose between getting a Switch and get Mario, or a PS4 or Xbox One and get Call of Duty to play with their friends, they're probably going to take that.
Call of Duty, I agree with you. I feel like Mario's going to do well, of course. And yeah, it's going to affect sales of other games, but not drastically. What I feel like is Mario's going to do fine, so he can come out this time. Nintendo can do something like that. I don't feel like the Shadow of Mordor or Shadow War, that was the best decision for you. I feel like...
I agree. See, now, and here's another reason why I do think Mario Mario's either going to be, I would say, November or December. If they're smart, I would probably go in December, just because you have a bunch of people that are going to be getting. If multi-console people are probably going to be getting the Call of Duty stuff like that. If you had
the Call of Duty in November.
Yeah. So it's harder to get people to double dip on things nowadays. It's people who have multi consoles, you buy stuff anyway. Like you and me are probably gonna get stuff in that month for both things. But don't forget, they also have Monster Hunter. That's not confirmed for the U.S. yet, but it wouldn't surprise me if Monster Hunter is September, and then they're like, we'll fish out Fire Emblem Warriors. That still has to come out. So that might be October. And then you have your Mario in December.
Yeah, and then there's 2 games slated.
Oh, and then you have Xenoblade.
I'm saying 2 games are slated for November already, too, that came out, had releases. They haven't had releases for the Switch yet, and that was Rim.
Oh, yeah,
They slated for, or Rhyme. Did I say Rim?
Yeah.
Had me. Rhyme is slated for November for the Switch, and Troll and I, which was released on everything else, is slated for November for the Switch.
Yeah.
I know because I was the only jackass that reserved it for the Switch. And when I went to go pick it up, they're like, oh, it came out and everything else. Sorry.
Bet you regret that now.
Game don't even look as good on it. Thanks. Appreciate it. So I'm glad we brought up the Switch, though.
Yeah, because our next topic is...
We learned how to talk recently?
Nintendo. Yeah, apparently today's just a horrible day for me all
You're
around.
sleepy.
I am.
You should go to Chick-fil-A. They'll give you food and a pillow, and they'll let you sleep while you're there and set an alarm. And I heard that they're playing Spider-Man Homecoming. That's not even out yet.
I wish I had Chick-fil-A money to do things like that. Nintendo Switch's online service is delayed. 2018 for their paid service. And we actually got more news about that today. So I'm actually kind of happy that we, instead of doing it Saturday, we recorded today. So
it is funny. It is weird.
So before I say what the actual news behind it is, my speculation, and I just want to know what you think, is could this be because Nintendo is listening to the backlash of what people have heard about the service? Like last week we talked about how Splatoon, you can only talk to your friends. You can't talk to any strangers or anything. What do you think?
I think that makes sense. I felt like maybe this internet service was expected for kids, and now they're realizing maybe it's majority adults that are owning the Switch. Maybe we should update it a little bit, make it a little better of an internet service. Even though it's such a cheap price for internet, if you're charging somebody, you better give them quality.
Yeah.
That makes the difference. You know what I mean?
I don't care how much I'm paying. I want it to work, and I want it to do.
When PlayStation started charging for theirs, their quality had to step up because people lost their mind about paying for PlayStation. That was always their thing, free internet.
Yeah.
So they had to step it up in order to stay relevant. So I feel like Nintendo has to do that. Whether it's Mario personally coming to my house once a month and pounding me like, thanks for paying, man. He can't because he's a fictional character.
You never know. They could have a guy in a costume.
It's true.
Your son would freak out.
He would lose his mind.
Probably cry.
We had this bus driver a couple of years ago. He would always be, he looks just like Mario. And it was just this Italian guy with a mustache. I felt so bad for him.
So, one of the things that recently came out behind the service, and part of the delay is, Nintendo has decided now that instead of your free NES or SNES title that you get every month, instead of it only being a rental, you now will get to keep it, as long as you have the service.
Ooh.
So I'm assuming they did listen. However, they did also say that they will not be selling they will not put big titles on for free. Which now worries me. Does that mean the SNES and NES games we're going to be getting for free are going to be like Pitfall? Like, am I never getting a Mario?
I don't know. Like, or if we do get a Mario, it would be Mario was missing. Well, it's true because at the end of the day, we talk smack now. We're mad at Nintendo or whatever. If they release Link to the Past on the Switch, what are we gonna do?
Yeah, listen. All right. To be fair, though, I kind of don't have anything else to buy.
It's not even that though. It's
I do love those games.
Nintendo's library is so great. Like at the end of the day, I have Earthbound on my Wii U. I finished Earthbound on my Wii U. Love that game. When they re-released it on the Switch, I'm going to buy Earthbound again and play through it again. Just because Their library, although old and everything, is amazing. And it's awesome, and it's expensive, but I love it, and it's fantastic, and I high five all the time.
I agree.
Super good. Super good. You know why Earthbound was, not Earthbound, I'm sorry, I was thinking of, Mario Legends. My apologies. You know why it was more expensive than any other game on the marketplace, Mario Legends? Or not Mario Legends, Mega Man Legends?
No.
They had to buy the licensing rights again. Because the soda machines in there are real soda.
Oh.
Yeah, a little tip of information for you. That's why it was $2 more than every other thing.
The more you know.
Yes. But, but at the same time, even their small end games, like if they give me Excite Bike, I still love the Excite Bike.
Okay.
What I think it's going to be is, you remember the free games you got for Animal Crossing?
Yes.
I think it's going to be those qualities. Games we all enjoy, but know if you're not going to get Super Mario World. You're not going to get Super Metroid. You know what I mean? They might give us Contra. They might give us Balloon Pop. You'll probably get Donkey Kong. Games like that. You know what I mean?
Okay. Maybe Punch Out.
Punch Out. What would be cool, I think, is if you got a free game, you could trade it back into them and say, I don't want it, for a discount on one of the nicer games. I think that would be really neat.
That would be pretty cool.
But, yeah,
Or, if you already, because this is the problem I run into PlayStation with a lot, if you already own the game, you get a discount off of another game.
Yeah.
Like, they give you a coupon instead. Like, hey, we see that you own this game, and you're not really benefiting from our service as much because you're one of the people who actually buys games early, and that's fine. But here's our way of rewarding you for still being a loyal.
I feel like Nintendo might do that, because that was one thing I thought was cool on them, is if you bought stuff on your Wii Marketplace, they discounted it for you when they uploaded it on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Because, hey, our bad, it took so long to come up here. Because I remember being furious. I bought Mario 64, and then, 2 months later, they re-released it on the Wii U, and I got it for only $5 because I bought it for the...
To me, that's still kind of... I agree. It's nice that they discounted it. Still kind of a slap in the face that you had to rebuy it, though. But I guess it's better than paying full price again. Because they easily could have probably been like...
And I would have paid the full price because I wanted to play Mario 64 with a controller.
So, do you think this delay was because maybe they're realizing online service is a lot harder than what they expected?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think they're trying to fix up their service. One thing I'm hoping is if they already impressed me with the share function on their controller, and that says, you know what, Nintendo, you're stepping in the right direction.
Yeah.
You're putting your big boy pants on.
I mean, theirs is a lot easier to use than Microsoft's.
1,000 times easier than Microsoft. Microsoft, you got to put a cheat code in to share something. All right, up, down, A, B, B, A, B, A. And then when you hear Scorpion say, get over here, you done something right. But no, so that's a step in the right direction. Hopefully, this whole Splatoon thing, they'll get rid of. I want to be able to put a headset on Nintendo. I want a headset.
Well, they showed one. Did you see what it is? Oh, this thing looks like a Rubik's Cube puzzle.
Ooh.
This thing is confusing. All right, it's not really confusing. It's actually pretty simple.
Put it on your chin.
It's just kind of annoying the route you have to go. So it's a headset that you put on, and then it runs into a splitter. Because you have to plug it into your Switch and then to your phone. The problem now is, though, too, is not all phones anymore have headphone jacks.
This is true. Mine does, though.
Yours does. Some Androids do not anymore, and iPhones do not anymore. The newer iPhones do not anymore. Now the problem also is, though, if you have an Android or an iPhone, you're draining power from those to talk to people. So now you need to charge it. So you need another splitter so that you can charge your phone and chat with people.
Here's my issue, though. You're using your phone to chat with people. Just use your phone, man. That's it. Skip the headset. Skip all this ridiculousness. Put your phone on speaker. And just like you're there.
Yeah, I don't really understand why you need the app. It almost sounds silly. It's like you can only talk to your friends anyway. I'm pretty sure my friends are already in my phone as a contact. I don't really need this app.
Figure out a way, Nintendo. This is so stupid. And it's not like I play a lot of games on my headset or anything like that. But sometimes, like a buddy of mine, if we're playing and he wants to get a hold of me, he'll hit me up on PlayStation all the time with a voice chat, and we'll just talk while we're playing video games. 2 separate games. Like, give me something like that, Nintendo. That would be awesome.
Yeah, like a party chat.
You know what I mean? Because, sometimes your phone is charging out of the room or anything like that, and sometimes your friend's online and you want to be like, hey, Joe, how are you doing? Just a shout out to my friend Joe, who I found out recently listened to us all the time.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Thanks, Joe.
Yes, thank you. Weird about it was I didn't know that he didn't know it was my podcast until he was like, "You said your name." I was like, "What?"
How long has he been listening?
No, I don't know. I guess he really realized it the first time he listened to it, but he just clicked on it because he saw our video and then heard my name and was like, "What?"
Oh, that's awesome.
But yeah, I'm hoping Nintendo gets rid of this whole phone thing. I want their internet to be good. I want Nintendo.
Do you think for the price though, you're kind of asking not to be amazing?
I can't see that. I'm going to go back to this. I love my Switch. I love the way the Switch is built. I think the system is solid.
Did you see it survive a 1,000-foot drop?
No. Well, that's awesome.
A guy dropped a Switch from 1,000 foot, survived. No other electronic has.
I love it. One guy commented on the Nintendo Facebook page I'm part of that I'm tired of games that felt like an iPhone, Android game on the Switch coming out. And you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I got Breath of the Wild. Splatoon's coming out. I'm okay. You know what I mean? I'm happy with the Switch. What I want is it to continue to do well. Because it is. It's doing well.
I think what they need, though, for the longevity is, and we've talked about this numerous times, so I don't want to keep going with this, is they need third party.
Well, besides third party, good internet service will make the difference.
I agree.
One of the reasons why people were willing to pay for 360s and over
The
PlayStation's free was because their internet service was awesome.
That's true.
You know what I mean? And you weren't getting hacked. That's why it's losing your credit card number. And you know what? I can't talk about you, Sony. You gave me a bunch of free games because of that. So
you know what, Sony? You're my homeboy now. So
we're good.
I'm sorry. But back in the day, you done messed up. I do agree. I think this Nintendo needs to figure out what they need to do to be as competitive as Microsoft.
Also, I feel like if you do have a good internet service, that's when developers are going to be like, oh, did you hear Nintendo's actually taking their new system serious? It's not just a kid system.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Then they're going to be like, oh, you know what I mean? Because I feel like if they release the numbers now, because I got to say, everybody I know that owns Switches are all adults. So I feel like if those numbers came out and Nintendo was like, majority of adults bought the system, let's start focusing on adults again. And I feel like that's who Nintendo fanboys are. Because like you said earlier, it's not the generation we grew up in. That's what I grew up in. I didn't play really violent games growing up. I played Mario. I played Sonic, stuff like that. 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds are playing Call of Duty now. You know what I mean? So it's not like...
Not my 6-year-old. Well, I don't have one yet. But
like Nintendo, and the fact, when you run into kids like mine that still watch cartoons, that play only
it's
games,
rare.
It's a rare thing, and I can't even take credit for that. That's my wife being a super Nazi, but like, it's rare. No, thank you, love. You're the best. But it's rare because we both worked at GameStop. How many rated M games did moms? Yeah. Oh, it's fine that Johnny plays it.
I think a lot of that also has to do with, though, and I think your wife is very fortunate, and my girlfriend will be very fortunate that your wife married someone who knows about these games. So, she's not going into these stores blind. Whereas most parents, I don't think, understand what the content is in the game. And to some parents, video games still are just, and they were toys. That's what Nintendo always marketed the Nintendo as, a toy. And now I think it's becoming that serious media that people, you do have to be careful what you buy your kids on it. Because while your kids, you may think it's just a game, it's not anymore. There is deep stories within it.
Well, it is true. And you look at the numbers, like when Call of Duty came out or Call of Duty started getting in that Modern Warfare, enlisting for armies jumped up. Like more people, like teenagers enlisted in the army from playing the game. So it is... I'm not saying games can influence like that because that's something we both stand against, but it is true that, you know what I mean, it's sometimes you do have to watch what your kids play. You know what I mean?
Well, regardless of, I do not think, I don't want to say games cause people to go out and do things, but if you have someone who doesn't quite understand what exactly the difference is between the game and reality, then yeah, they may want to go out and do that. There may be people that when they play Call of Duty, they're like, man, I am a beast at Call of Duty. I'm not really good at anything else in my life. I want to join the military.
So, all this being said, I hope Nintendo puts on their big boy pants. Because everybody that I know that has a Switch, Brian, I'm going to use your example just because I talked to him last week, he was so impressed with Breath of the Wild because to him, for the longest time, it wasn't a Zelda that held his hand. It was, go do what you got to do, man, figure it out. You know what I mean? Get killed 40,000 times in the beginning and one shot killed everywhere. And it is true. It felt like, you know what I mean, they took the kid gloves off.
I was actually playing Breath of the Wild the other day.
Bless you.
Yes.
And that's what I'm hoping the new Mario. You remember playing Mario 64? Mario 64.
It was tough.
It didn't explain nothing to you.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, here's the castle. When you fell into a painting, you were like, I got something. Like,
Me and my girlfriend just picked up a GameCube because she really wanted one, and we were playing Mario Sunshine again.
it's a great game.
Holy crap! Did I take things for advantage? Like the fact that I went as soon as I started, everything's inverted. I was like, what? Why is up not up and down not down? What is going on? And I go to the options. There is no control options back then to change the controller. And when I was a kid, it never bothered me because as a child, I used to play every game inverted. If it wasn't inverted, I had to go inverted. And then I don't know what happened to me. Maybe I got hit on the head or something. But then up was up and down is down to me.
I agree with you. That's how I've always played games. Up is up, down is down. I remember the first Halo when it's like, Chief, can you look up? Look down? Alright. Let's try it inverted. And I was like, ew, I like this. I don't like this at all.
As a kid, I think it made sense to me because I thought of things like a pilot. Now, if I put a rod in the back of your head and I pull down, your head looks up. And if I pull up, your head looks down.
Yeah, well. No.
But now that I'm older, I'm just kind of like, yeah, I just want, up to always be up and down to always be down.
Since we're getting towards the end, before we jump into anything else, I wanted to ask you a question. Do you think if a third party, I was thinking about this today actually, and I was thinking about it this week playing, think if a third party came up with some kind of device that you could hook into your TV and look through everything in like a VR mode from what your TV is displaying. So you can play video games like that, watch TV, everything like that. Do you think something like that would do well, and what the price range would be on it?
Oh.
So think about it. I'm playing my Xbox One or my Switch, and I can play everything in first-person mode because I got these goggles that just hooked up to what my TV is displaying.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to say. For it to work with everything that you're talking about, I'm assuming it would have to be into well over 1,000. And here's why. Because you have the HTC Vive, which is apparently the most expensive VR headset, which only works on PC. And that's $800 alone. And that only works with select games, too. It doesn't work with anything. So, for me to be able to watch Game of Thrones and then be like, holy crap, I am in this world? This is amazing. Yeah, that's got it. I don't even know if that's something you could get in your home without paying a premium price. I feel like that's something you go somewhere that has like a crap ton of TVs and a crap ton of these things, and you pay to sit down and use it. And then after 30 minutes, you're halfway into the episode, they're like, all right, man, your turn's up. No!
The reason I was asking, because I was playing Halo this week. I was like, man, it would be so cool if I had these VR glasses. I could just put it on. I didn't even have to do the function of moving, just to have the screen in front of me. I could still control everything with the controller.
If you want something like that, I think that would be a lot cheaper. Like if you just kind of wanted like a media in your face headset that doesn't, if you turn your head, it doesn't follow you. It's just still watching TV or something. I think that would be a lot cheaper. That would probably be, I would say no more than $300.
Do you think it would do well? That was my question. Because the only time I would ever use it probably is for video games and watching Spider-Man. Just because it'd be cool to swing through like that.
I think the only video games I would enjoy something like that would be first person.
Most likely, yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, the only other time I could think of it being beneficial is it honestly would be like having a Wii U again or a Switch with everything though. Whereas if your girlfriend, wife, or children, whoever wanted to watch something but you still wanted to play games, just put that on your head and guess what? Now you can go. And then they can watch TV or whatever.
True. My wife was watching the terrible hospital show. What's it called?
Grey's Anatomy.
Thank you. She's so hooked to it. And I was like, I want to play Halo, but instead I guess I'll just play my Switch. Thanks for having this, though, at least.
Yeah.
Couldn't play my Vita, too.
What did you play on the Switch? Lego City?
Yeah, how'd you know?
Wizard.
How did you know that? That's so weird.
I'm a wizard. No one ever wants to believe me, but someday I'll figure out how
I'm
to
gonna
use
kick
my
you in the
powers.
shin that you figured that out, man. Oh, while we're on the Switch news, I went over to Steve's house. The one where we bought the Switch.
Yeah.
You gotta listen to our podcast. Hope you're listening. Shout out to you. Thanks, having a good time. He invited me over for ARMS.
Does he own the whole block?
Yeah. He invited me over for the ARMS demo. Really good. Did you try it?
No, I actually, I started watching people play it, and it really made me not want to play it.
Why,
It looks so dumb.
So we tried it both ways. We tried it with the motion controls. Motion controls were really solid,
Okay.
really responsive. I loved how he said it, and I'm going to steal his words. And if he does listen to this, I'm stealing your words. If you don't, well, I'm not giving you any credit. But he said everything you do with hands feels like that's what it should be. Like to block, this makes sense. You know what I mean? To grab, this makes sense. With the motion controls, and I agreed with him. Everything did feel like it made sense. And I had a lot of fun with it. I loved the quick motions. I loved how some of my matches were 10 minutes long. Some of them were 15 seconds because somebody just rocked me, you know? And when we switched over to controller, and that was even more fun. What I'm trying to say is ARMS, I'm excited about it. I'm really disappointed you didn't like it. I'm so surprised. I feel like that is a solid fighting game.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I don't like fighting games. I've said this on the podcast numerous times. I debated about buying a fighting game for when I have people over the house.
Injustice 2.
I actually... So we're going to get off the Switch news. Sorry that we were talking about ARMS and all. Okay.
Might go back to it.
We're going to talk about this for a second. I was thinking of Injustice 2. And I was like, I only want one fighting game. I only want one. So it's either going to be Injustice 2, Marvel vs. Capcom, and I thought about Tekken. Then I knocked Tekken off because I was like, you know what? I haven't really liked Tekken in a while. And I was like, it'll probably be either between Injustice and Marvel vs. Capcom. Then the Tekken reviews came out. Tekken got a 9.5.
Did it really?
Yeah. Apparently it's like the best Tekken in a long time. And I'm like, God dang it!
I did not pick it up. I had no interest in this Tekken.
I wasn't paying attention to it. I haven't watched anything on it. Nothing. I was like, I don't really care.
All I knew was Akuma's in this.
Yeah.
All I knew about it.
And I was like, dang it! Now this is apparently good.
Maybe I'll pick it up, huh?
But yeah, I just want a fighting game so that when I have people over, we don't just get stuck playing Mario Kart.
Well, thinking about this, man. This is your last year. Come next year, you're going to have an extra holiday. Father's Day, all right? Yep. I get 2 video games in June. It's always so exciting. Yep.
Fucking games in June?
Yep.
Stupid.
Maybe I'll look into the Tekken reviews. I had no interest in it. But just go
Wait,
with...
why do you get 2?
Huh?
Why do you get 2? One from Jada, one from Julian?
Yeah, there it is.
You should get 3 then.
It's true, probably. No, it's
Holy crap, I need to have more kids.
it's because my birthday's in June. I thought you would put that together, but you didn't.
I thought you meant just for Father's Day.
Nope. I said 2 in June. That's what I said.
You did say 2 in June.
I did say
Alright,
2.
I'm sorry.
You're a terrible human being.
So then you should get 4. One from each kid. For each house.
So anyway, the one thing I did appreciate about ARMS, and at least hopefully you can agree with this, game is pretty. It's a very beautiful game.
Yeah, but I mean, in Nintendo, most Nintendo games are. That didn't surprise me. That's right.
That's pretty good. Nintendo all the way.
Alright, let's move on. The final thing that we're going to talk about today is actually going to be just E3. It's coming up. It's next week. So I thought we could go over the schedule. So what we're actually going to do, the episode is going to be late next week, and it's all just going to be covering E3.
All right.
The first one is Saturday. That's going to be EA. EA's by themselves from 10 to 12 Pacific Standard Time. So 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And then you have Sunday, Microsoft kicks off. Yep, they are from 11 to 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. For those of you who do not know, just subtract 3 hours. Because I feel like someone on there's gonna be like, we live on the East Coast. It's like, yeah, well,
the Atlantic.
the
I had to go to a coffee shop and look at all their clocks.
How am I ever gonna know this? I would hope you would just Google it instead of driving to a coffee shop to look at all the clocks. And then we have Bethesda. They are also Sunday, 11 at 9 p.m. So they're at 9, and then at Monday we have PC Game Show. They're at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Monday we also have Ubisoft. They are at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then Sony is on Monday. They start at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Ooh.
So that'll be 3. And then Nintendo is Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, which means 6 in the morning. Woo!
Last time I stayed up to watch a coverage of when the Nintendo was releasing everything about the Switch. I had the worst stomach virus. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
I couldn't get out to reserve the Switch. You had to do it for me. I was sitting in bed, sick, and then getting more mad about some of the announcements Nintendo made. Like, arms, what's 1, 2, Switch? But with that being said, I'm hoping I don't get sick. I'm really excited for E3. Are you?
Oh, super excited. One, because there isn't much coming out this holiday so far, because I think a lot of it's going to be announced at E3.
Not to mention that, but to be a little bit cheesy, I'm excited now that we have this podcast, and you know what I mean. It's getting this information. I get excited to watch trailers, so I can come discuss it with you through this podcast and give the information to you people listening, because this is important to me, and to William too, kind of.
I agree.
I take it a little more serious than he does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I bleed for this podcast. Yeah.
When have you bled for this podcast?
Right now.
So here's what we're going to be doing for the podcast. I believe Monday we were going to do a live reaction to Sony's.
Mm.
And what we're going to do, I believe, if you have time before or after, we should watch and record each one. There's the dog every episode.
Hey, buddy.
Never fails.
Our third member.
And we'll watch and record and try to do live of everything before or after. I know you work Monday, so it might have to be later on. And we can give like live reactions to those as well, and then we can just sprinkle it out throughout the week. What do you want to see this E3? Let's start from the top. EA.
What would I like to see from EA?
Do you like many EA games? I'm just
Not
curious.
really. I can't really think of any that I really play.
Do you?
I can't. I played EA games before because I remember that EA thing.
I think.
I can't remember my last EA game I played though.
I feel like we're probably going to get another Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare. Because those seem to be doing pretty well. We're probably going to get... Tony Hawk's going to be Activision, so we wouldn't get that. Thanks, dog. Madden. That's what he was telling me.
Yes.
We'll probably show off
The last Madden I played was 06 because McNabb was on the cover.
We'll probably see one of Bethesda's BioWare's new game. It probably will not be a Dragon Age, although they did just recently announce that they are writing the script for the new Dragon Age.
All right.
So we'll see.
What else we got? What's the next company?
Microsoft. You now have an Xbox, so
yes.
this might actually interest you.
I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with the next Crackdown. I would like to see, hopefully, pray to see another Knights of the Old Republic somehow. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Or something like that. Halo 6. I really...
Not going to be there.
You sure?
They already said it.
Maybe, man.
No.
Maybe they're lying.
I think you're just on this Halo bandwagon now.
Maybe we'll get like Halo 5.5 lock the game.
Why would they give us lock the game when he wasn't even well received?
I liked him.
You're the only guy.
I don't know. Like I said, I want to see a solid RPG on the Microsoft announced.
I think Microsoft needs to prove to everyone watching that they're not just the bro shooter console.
Hey, bro, you want to come over? We can drink some Natty Ice and play some Microsoft. Oh, what do you think? With that being said, they own or have a partnership with Rare. please give me something from Rare.
Conquer.
Although the Rare replay was awesome, it was that. How cool was it that Microsoft's like, we're gonna give you every Rare game?
Well, Sea of Thieves is by Rare, and that's supposed to be coming out this year. So I'm going to assume that they're going to show.
Oh, that's the one we're excited for.
That's what the.
I would take Grab by the Ghoulies too. Okay, if I could get any.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not super excited for Sea of Thieves either. I do like Rare, but I don't. When I see Sea of Thieves, I'm just kind of like, this doesn't really do anything for me. I would much rather them announce like a new Conquer.
The Microsoft, for whatever reason, the hard drive I have for the one I got, whatever reason, like I had to delete like 80 games to put Halo Guardians in because it's just a massive game.
And it took forever to install, you said.
What? Like days, man. It was ridiculous.
And how fast did you beat it?
I feel like I beat it faster than it installed. I do. But my issue was I had to delete the entire Rare collection out to download it, and I was so upset. I can't wait to re-download the Rare collection. Be good.
Well, the nice thing about do you own it digitally or physically?
What?
The Rare Replay.
Physically.
Oh, okay. Because if you owned it digitally, you can pick what you have installed off of it. You don't have to have
You can do that digitally too.
Oh, you can.
Or
physically?
Physically.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I only had any of the, like, from Battletoads Beyond. I didn't have. I had Banjo downloaded, Conquer downloaded, and Perfect Darks. Besides, I didn't care about anything else.
Okay. Yeah, I really just wanted to play Conquer again. I really hope they release a new Conquer.
Yes. My question. So yeah, what else we got?
Bethesda. Now we are 99.9% sure that they're going to do a new Wolfenstein. Is going to get announced, probably come out this year, and Evil Within 2. Did you like Evil Within?
I did like Evil Within. I told you what happened to me and why I never finished that game. I was like right at the end, and it kept freezing up on me when I got to a point.
That's right.
I was just so mad I traded it in, but I thought that was a really good game. One of those ones I feel like Dead Space didn't hold your hand. Like, it was challenging enough where you were like, "Ooh, this is challenging." Not challenging like Dark Souls where I don't want to play it, but like it was nice. So I would love to see Evil Within. I'd love to see a step up in graphics, Evil Within.
I want to see more of, and I don't know, maybe you'll agree with me or not. In Evil Within, the first half, in my opinion, was really creepy. It was really scary. And then once you kind of got to the city stuff and it turned daylight, that's kind of where it slowly just wasn't scary to me.
Yeah, but I feel like that happens a lot with
horror games.
Horror games in general. Same thing.
Resident Evil.
Resident Evil 7. We both loved it. And one thing we complimented about Resident Evil 7 was going back to the ship was a way to keep it fresh. Because you did, as Ethan, you started feeling so badass.
Yeah.
Let me strip everything away from you, put you back in the ship as a different character with nothing. So I feel like that's every horror game. You can't even hold that against Evil Within. Who makes the Borderlands games?
That's Gearbox. They're 2K. So 2K doesn't get a press conference. Since they're third party, they kind of just show up on anyone's. So if you're talking about like a Borderlands 3, that could be shown on any stage, technically. It could be shown on Nintendo. It could be shown on Microsoft's or Sony's. It would not be shown on Bethesda's, but it could be shown on one of those three.
Oh god, I would love Borderlands 3. It's one of my favorite, most underrated games I've bought. They had some collection plays. It's impressive, isn't it?
I own the Hands Collection on my PS4, and I don't think I've ever played it.
But you've at least beaten.
Oh yeah. Oh. The only one I never beat was the pre-sequel.
It's the best one, man. Oh, before he's handsome Jack, when he's just Jack. Yes. Oh, that game was so amazing. You gotta play it, man.
I got about not even halfway through, and I was just like,
Oh, I love both those games.
Wasn't doing anything for me personally.
The only one I don't like is the first one, which to me.
The first one I think is
Yeah.
The second one's the best.
I disagree with the sequel. It's really good to me. Yeah. Well, hey, we can teach you their own opinions. What else we got?
Then you have. We're gonna skip over the PC gaming show. Ubisoft. We know we're going to probably see Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, that's what I'd love to see is Assassin's Creed.
Now, what do they have to show for you? And I'm pretty sure you already told me that you're on board anyway, but what do they have to show?
I was so happy with the last one, I feel like I'll get it no matter what. But if you show me just Egypt, that would be really awesome. Mm-hmm. I'm part of that. I don't know, I feel like Egypt would be enough for me to get aboard with this, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So, as long as you don't... As long as you don't Unity, which give me more cutscenes than you do actual in-game gameplay. That's my issue with Unity, and I should have realized that then. All the trailers for that were all cutscenes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? There, we should have realized something was wrong there. Like, why are you showing actual in-game gameplay?
What does this game look like
Right,
when I'm
yeah.
playing it?
So, yeah, I feel like Assassin's Creed would be enough for me. I'm excited about that.
Okay. I actually really want a Splinter Cell.
Oh, who doesn't want to
I think it's been too long.
Blacklist was super good, though.
Yeah, I know, but we haven't had a Splinter Cell in quite some time.
You remember when he cut his ankles at the end of the Blacklist?
Yes.
Guy wasn't walking anywhere.
They're slowly seem to be releasing these Tom Clancy games. It seems like one every year. 2 years ago, you had Rainbow Six and The Division. This year, you had Wildlands, Ghost Recon, and it wouldn't surprise me if the next one is Splinter Cell.
Splinter Cell? Bring back the original voice actor?
Fingers crossed, but you know.
Yeah, I was never into those games. I got Blacklist, and I fell in love with that game, actually.
Really?
Yeah. I'm a Metal Gear fan. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, me too. But I still really liked the first three, and then I think it was Double Agent was the one that I kind of fell off on, and then I came back for what was the Xbox 360 exclusive one? Begins with a C. Conviction. There we go. Thank you. That one I got back into only because that co-op and a friend of mine had it, and I was like, oh, I'll play this. And I was like, yo, this is awesome. So we did that together, and then I did and then I got Blacklist, which was awesome with or without someone to play with.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I was gonna say one of my same thing with my coworkers at my last job was like, oh, you play Blacklist, and I was like, oh, I'm not into Splinter Cell. And he's like, oh, you gotta try it. So I picked it up, and I'm like, the game is the truth. The game is the truth, and you get to play as Black Eye.
Wow.
I'm always happy about that.
Why?
I don't know. I was like playing as black guys in video games.
Well, you're racist.
Is that racist?
What's wrong with wanting to play a white guy?
I don't know. I think it's from when I was a kid. Like even looking.
You're not even black.
I agree, but when I looked at all four Ghostbusters, who do you think I identified with more than anything? Winston Zedmore.
The white guy with the blonde hair and the glasses.
No. Okay. First off, there was no white player glasses.
Yeah.
Egon had black or brown hair.
In the animated series?
In the animated series, he was blonde, but in movies, he.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're talking about the animated.
Point being, I identified with Winston Zedmore because he was a black guy, and I was a dark kid, so I identified with him more. Sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I get it.
But even when it comes to video games to this day, I was like, hey, you want to get controversial? I'm not even joking at
That
this
makes
point.
so much sense. That's why you like Locke.
Maybe. That
black
might
guy.
be. But I always
Sheep is a really big white guy.
We don't know that.
No, we do.
Yeah, we do, actually. Yeah,
He's a ginger.
Ginger?
Yeah, you didn't know that? He has red hair.
He's always bald, I assumed.
Well, he is bald, but his actual hair color when he had hair, I believe, is red. From my understanding, damn, now I can't remember. I read the book so long ago. I think he has red hair, but
I've always been like that in like games. I've always like identified with black guys so much easier than I did like a white guy in a video game for some reason.
because they like fuck the police.
Nah,
I'm
that's
king of
racist.
the ground.
That's really racist. But yeah, I mean, like it's always been weird. I don't know.
Interesting.
It is interesting.
Huh.
Even if I could like choose a character, I always go for a black guy. Like the first Crackdown, that was that black guy with the short haircut and the beard.
I usually seem to attach myself to the characters that just die, like Carmine's.
So you know when I realized it was Army of Two. You could play Salem or Rhodes.
Okay.
And I felt like Roaz was a little more ethnic looking, so so I literally picked him. I realized I was like, do I have a problem? Oh man, I do.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever picked a character just because of looks. I think I usually try to base it off of their personality.
If I can pick, if you can create a character, I usually will keep them the model that they give me and the name they give me. Like I played all three Mass Effect as John Shepard. I think Fallout was like the first time I actually edited my character and
Made him black.
Yeah.
With a fro. Would you give him Mr. T Mohawk?
No, he had braids.
Classic. Always the third pick. First two, Afro, Mr. T Mohawk when you're making a black guy.
You know what's funny is when I was making a wrestling game still, I had I'd always make my character, and of course he was dark like me. And depending on, there was a year, I would like change my hair every other month. You had braids, you had dreads at one point, long frizzy hair, a buzz cut. Like, I would always come and edit it and change into my career hairstyle. So, it's pretty funny.
That is funny. After Ubisoft, the Sony.
Love to hear about another Ratchet and Clank that's not not Ratchet and Clank, excuse me, Jack and Dexter. That's not a re-release of the original games. I want another Sly Cooper so bad. I can taste it.
What does it taste like? Raccoon?
Yes, like a trash panda.
Is that better?
Yeah,
It's worse.
I want to hear more of Last of Us 2. I'm rather curious about the whole Joel situation. More on God of War.
See, I don't. Oh God. Excuse me. I don't think we're going to hear anything on Last of Us 2, and I kind of don't want to hear anything until it's closer to coming out.
I want to know if Joel's okay, because
ever since we talked about that possibility.
Yeah, it really upset me because Joel is one of my favorite. Like, even if I play as Ellie, I would want Joel in that game. Mm-hmm. He's a great character. I do want Sony to come out there and be like, hey, there was a game that came out that people cried and complained about because it's only 6 hours, called Order 1886.
I do think it's time for another Order.
We're going to put another one out, even though you guys cried about it, because this was a great game, because I love that game.
I do too.
I mean, yeah, I had my complaints about it, but like overall, when I was done with the game, it wasn't like, oh, this is terrible. I was like, no, I've really enjoyed that.
I do think it's time to... I don't think it's going to come out yet, but I do think it's time to show it and be like, hey, we are doing another one. And because I do think that that's a game that you're going to have to show quite often to get people back on board with.
My question is, what do you do graphically with that? Because that first one...
You don't.
It was perfect.
Yeah, man. You don't do anything with the graphics.
Like, when you were going down the side of the blimp, you could see your feet impressions or shoe impressions in the blimp.
Yes, that game visually is probably one of still the most impressive looking games I've ever seen.
God, it was such a fun game. I still like anytime I run into people who didn't like that game, it annoys me to no end. Like, why?
It was only 6 hours long, and one of the chapters I just walked.
Worst game ever. Okay.
How about you shut your mouth?
And I do feel like we live in an awful time now where like people just, it's like a bandwagon. And you know what it made me think about it was, I'm on Facebook today and everybody seemed to love Wonder Woman on Facebook. And the reviews were real good. Where it's like, I guarantee if it didn't do well review-wise, everybody would have hated that movie somehow.
Yeah.
Like,
this movie's garbage! Yeah. So. No wonder why it's done by a woman!
What do we got after Sony?
Nintendo, that's it.
What do I want to see from Nintendo? Announcement, I feel like I feel like they're going to finally announce Metroid Prime.
I do agree. I do think they need to announce a Metroid.
I don't think they need to. I think they will. I do think they need to, but I think they definitely will, and I feel like we're getting a Metroid Prime, and I think like we're getting another Metroid. Only because apparently I was watching online, a company pitched a Metroid game to them, and they were like, looks good, but we're just not interested in it. And the company came out and was like, it just, the way they were handling it really felt like they had one in the works already, and that's why they could take it. So I'm thinking that we're definitely getting a Metroid Prime, and I do feel like Nintendo, they gotta throw it to us, man. We've been, they're like, it doesn't make any sense anymore for making us wait any longer. Like, give us a Metroid Prime, please.
I think what they need to say is coming out this holiday, and would be perfect. And we've talked about this before. Animal Crossing. I
agree. I still think there's gonna be a Metroid Prime though, and also because when Metroid Federation Force was coming out, they even said, we know this isn't the game, the Metroid you want.
Yeah.
But it's something. I feel like they know that's not what we wanted. That's because what we want, we really are getting.
What upset me about Federation Force though was that it wasn't what I wanted, but it wasn't even. You couldn't even give me what I wanted on the 3DS. You couldn't give me another side scroller. You had to be like, hey, here's something that has nothing to do with Metroid. Samus isn't even in it, but here you go. This isn't even the same type of armor that Samus wears. We call this block armor 45. It's like, God, I hate you.
I feel like give me a little more on Mario Odyssey. We know that.
Well, we know that Mario Odyssey is going to be the big focus.
I feel like this one, and we mentioned this before, I feel like Breath of the Wild really got into the Zelda story a little more, and I feel like maybe they learned their lesson with that this could potentially make a better game. So, like we said, in the trailer, it looks like Bowser is trying to marry Peach. And I feel like maybe we're going to get a little more into the Mario canon, a little more into
We're
the
going to
story.
find out that she is the mother of all the Koopalings.
Or at least a baby Bowser, or a Bowser Jr. Yeah, my son would lose his mind if I called him baby Bowser. Bowser Jr., different. But, I don't know. I feel like I would love to see more about Mario Odyssey. See where the game takes place, you know what I mean? Where it fits, timeline-wise. And they said this feels more like Sunshine in 64. So I'm rather curious on what they meant for that. Does that mean we're going to get the punch button back? You know what I mean? Like, what does it mean? So
Flood returning?
Doubt Flood's coming back.
Don't you ever say that to me again.
Doubt Flood's coming back.
If you think the hat's replacing Flood in my heart, it won't.
Yet.
No, it won't. The hat looks dumb.
It's
a hat with eyes.
Just to let you know, Nintendo sell you things that you didn't even think you wanted until you get it.
And then every time I see Shigeru Miyamoto wear that stupid hat with eyes in real life, it makes me so angry.
I'll tell you a magical story. When GameCube got announced, I was like, Mario Sunshine, you're gonna guilt me into cleaning up pollution, just like Sonic tried to do. I played that stupid game with that stupid, amazing water pack, and I was like, this game's amazing, it's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Nintendo.
It's my favorite Mario game.
They know what you want when you don't even know you wanted it.
It also introduced Bowser Jr.
Yes, it did. I forgot about that. It was the first introduction of Bowser Jr.
He was the villain. So, I think that's everything.
Yeah.
This episode went longer than I was expecting, actually.
Did it really? Oh, it did. Well, I do apologize. I get excited about video game news. And E3 is around the corner, everybody. Please comment in the section below and let us know what your thoughts of E3 is. Are you excited for anything? Do you disagree with Will on anything? Because I know you can't disagree with me. Everything that comes out of my mouth is gold. That's true.
If only we could sell that.
All right, everybody. If you liked what you heard here, and I'm sure you did, go ahead and hit that likes button. If you didn't, I'll hit the like button. That's what we do here. Okay, we're going to talk about that.
We like to keep things positive.
Okay, yes.
If you want to be a negative Nancy, go be it somewhere else.
You know what I mean? While on your way out, hit that like button and then be negative somewhere else. You can always follow us on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, Twitch, and YouTube.
Yes, the big one.
The big one, YouTube. Always, please leave a comment or an email. We will get back to you as soon as possible. Usually it's me checking the comments and then letting Mr. Will over here to know, hey, somebody commented, and he'll get back to you. Because he's better with them words than I am.
Words I did do good.
He's very articulate. I not so much. I caveman. All right.
But that will be episode 27.
Is it 27?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Woof.
It's coming fast.
We're older than you now. That's weird.
Not yet. Oh, yeah. I was going to say, no, my birthday will be here, but by the time my birthday's here, we'll be in our 30s.
Yep, exactly.
God.
Oh, we're older than you. Awkward. Notice I said you, not me.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We're getting there, though. All right, everybody. Have a good one, and peace.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Yes, good. Now you're getting it.